Hey everyone, so we're going to check out the Street Fighter 6 trailers, not just one trailer. We're going to be watching out multiple trailers and some breakdown videos. Primarily, I haven't been able to check out the game on the trailer. I haven't been able to see much about the game overall, mostly because I've been busy, so I didn't get to see the game show. I don't know of all the games that came out, but a lot of my feed has been showing a lot of, details of some of these games. So I do know that Street Fighter 6 is moving into an open world area. I know that there's going to be a lot of system mechanic changes, so I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. So let's go ahead and check it out real quick. I'm curious to see what the artistic style is going to be. I'm excited about it being open world. I think that's awesome. I think that's a natural direction for fighting games to go, because my favorite single player content was Mortal Kombat Deception with the Conquest mode, going around and battling other characters and other other AI, but mostly
looking for strength,
actually going to all the realms.
It's not like a game. This journey doesn't have a real ending.
That statement right there, that tells you it's an open world game right off the bat.
Okay then, hope you're ready to begin. If you want to start off,
I do have some concerns about that open world aspect of the game though. The question is, how fulfilling is the open world design? If it's just empty, it doesn't feel like you can really engage with it, then that's gonna be a problem. It looks really well done though. It looks beautiful. Wow, that looks really beautiful. Okay, that's the battle sequence there. You challenge other people. That's exactly what I want to see. You go up, you meet an NPC, you challenge them to a battle, and then the battle actually begins, and you kind of separate and 1v1 it. Oh damn, Ryu looks good. He looks good. Boy, is he bulky. That man's a beefcake now. New character. Okay, we got a drunken boxer by the looks of it. Jamie, our new character. Luke, Chun-Li, good old Ryu. Ooh, animations look good. I like that impact. That impact feels really good by the looks of it. Okay, we got focus attacks again. FADC. Parry mechanic. Yeah, parry's back alright. That's FADC again. We got armor strikes all over again. I'm guessing these are the critical arts. Damn, that looks good. Those supers look really dope. Okay, they've changed the logo. I know there was a lot of controversy surrounding that for a while. I'm guessing the old one must have been a placeholder just till they figured out a better one. Possibly. That's me being generous, though. Alright, so just for kind of shits and giggles, we're gonna check out the PlayStation, or the what am I saying? PlayStation 4. The Street Fighter 6 and the Street Fighter 5 gameplay comparison to see how it looks in comparison. I'm kind of curious if there's been a massive graphical upgrade or not. Definitely different artistic design, and it looks definitely a lot better in my opinion. It looks this one looks a little bit more natural, while the old one looked a little bit more cartoony. It looks great. It looks fantastic. It almost has like a MK11 look to a certain degree with hyperrealism, but I still think it still looks pretty unique. Oh, that whiff punish. The hell of a whiff punish there. That definitely is a new move. Whatever Ryu's got there, that's not a Hadouken. That's something totally different. I gotta admit, the Tatsumaki in the new iteration looks a little wonky. It looks a little weird. Granted, the attack has always looked a little strange, but it looks a little weird. I really like this ink splash. Like, the artistic design of this new, Street Fighter looks really good. Okay, they've changed some animations, but the idea is still the same. Seeing pairing of fireballs here. There's that FADC again. That's new. I didn't see that before. So Chun-Li's got... Looks like Chun-Li has got a lot of new moves. She looks totally... No, wait. I guess that wasn't in the previous ones. I dropped out of Street Fighter V after the second season. You know, I got really burned by Street Fighter V after I purchased it, so I just didn't feel the same way about it. And I know the game got significantly better. Oh, this is something I haven't seen. Ooh, damn. Oh, damn! And you can even see, like, her bones and stuff in the background and all that. That looked dope. That looked great. Oh, that's great to see the comparison. Yeah, I kind of like this new visual look a lot more. It looks really dope. So this is the second official trailer that's been released, and let's check out what they have to reveal to us here.
Oh yeah, you know.
Commentators.
Trying to read each other here?
Oh, in-game commentary. I like this. I actually really like this. Granted, like, I know that there's this whole, like, esports stuff that goes on with fighting games and stuff like that. I understand that, but I don't think that really should be the focus about, like, esports necessarily. What should be more the focus is the player experience. And adding commentary adds to the player experience, because it makes it feel like you're in a tournament, and it makes it feel organic, it makes it feel alive, as long as you can turn it off. I know some people will not like that. Yeah. Oh, they got Japanese one. Supported in 13 languages. Subtitles supported in 13 languages. That's pretty cool. Again, I hope they have like a mechanic where you can like have specific locations have their own commentators. That'd be really cool. Like if all of the Japanese locations, you have the Japanese commentators, so that way it kind of feels like you're actually creating a world tour experience. Take your game to the next level. Okay. So I want to know what these mechanics are. What is this? And this ink splash. Oh, and it stains the ground. That's cool effects. And it blows through him with the ink effects. Again, I love the stylization. Again, the commentary just it makes it feel exciting. So I do really like that. So next, let's check out Rooflemonger's breakdown of the game so far. He's clearly done his deep dive into details. I know that there's a website for Street Fighter 6, so I'm guessing these guys have already covered it. So we're gonna watch their breakdown of it. If you guys haven't watched Rooflemonger makes some great educational material revolving around fighting games. Highly recommend his stuff if you're new to fighting games, or if you're someone that's actively trying to be involved in learning about them. Great resource, awesome resource. So let's go ahead and see what he has to break down for us.
And now let's get into the mechanics as we now know them. Like stuff like this, you would assume, oh, it's an EX move.
Yeah,
right?
It looks like an EX move.
Color for it. Not quite. And then there's some other stuff like this guy here. Oh, this looks like a focus attack, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Not quite. So, well, let's get into it. So here is the UI of Street Fighter 6. I know this is a very busy image, please forgive it, but it's what we got to work with here. So now looking at the top. So at the very top is your health. That's easy.
Yeah, health bar.
But the green bar is below your health. That's a new, very core mechanic of the game. This is the drive system. And no, not the King of Fighter 13 drive system.
No.
But this is Street Fighter 6's drive system, and it basically powers everything. So first we have
Drive
Impact. Every one of these drive moves takes a specific amount of drive bar, which does regenerate.
So that's
over
the focus
time.
attack.
We'll talk more about it in a second here. But Drive Impact is a powerful strike that can absorb an incoming attack. It can also wall splat people if they're in the corner.
Wow.
So in the end, what is this? Well, it's effectively Focus Attack Plus. Here you can see Jamie doing it.
So this is a universal mechanic for everyone. Everyone can do this.
Moves, and also all the characters have their own color-coded ones. So Jamie is yellow, Chun-Li is blue, and Ryu is the classic inky black and white. Color is a big part of this game. So next up here we have the Drive Parry. So
Continuously
automatically repel an
drains.
opponent's attack and replenish your drive if you successfully parry an attack. And if you time it well, you get a perfect parry. So yes, parries are back. Although they're tied to the drive gauge, they're not free.
Oh, so it's like a
and
stance
it's basically a
mechanic.
parry stance, if you will.
Okay.
So
you hold it down and it'll
so
continuously parry.
Luke doing the parry stance.
Yeah.
So he's entering his parry drive, and as you see here,
That's something I forgot to
him,
mention before. I
Luke
really
gets
like
back
how
every
the
single
animations
one.
are individual.
Now, there's still
It makes the
quite a
fight
few
look
unknowns,
more
right?
organic.
Like, are certain attacks unparryable? Can you defend from every single thing? Like,
That's cool.
If it's a
That's really
stance
cool.
and you have to hold it, will you get thrown for free, right? Like, that's usually one of the penalties for messing up a counterattack in various fighting games, is you get thrown. You know, it's not quite melty blood, right? Because it does cause resource, and it's very dire resource. If you drain your drive bar, you will suffer big penalties, so it's not something you want to do. But still, that's what we know right now for parry. Is basically, you just hit 2 mediums,
Dope.
and you enter
Really
your
dope.
parry stance.
That looks good. That looks
Here
really
is
good.
what we
Animations
assume
in
is
this
a
game
perfect
look
parry with the
fantastic.
perfect timing. As you see here, big color flashes, and so
Ah,
much
okay.
even an inkling from
So in order to do the
jealous
drive
of that.
reversal counterattack,
So
you need to land the
that
perfect
looks to be
parry.
a perfect time parry drive. Same with Ryu here. So looks to be perfect time parry drive on the attack here. Big
So it looks like
color
it slows
flash
down
again,
time a bit more.
And then he follows up with a Shoryuken.
I'm
Almost
guessing
certainly
you get
gonna be a
plus
very
frames
big deal
for
and a
landing
big
that.
part of the game. Question is, will they be frame 1?
It's interesting because it looks like they're adding all of the special mechanics from previous games and adding them into one.
Looks like you glow red,
So like they're
and
kind of
just
recycling
shine
old
colors.
mechanics, but they're putting it all in one game
Still
now.
plenty more drives to go here. Overdrive arts. These are effectively EX moves. So any 2 buttons when you do your move, you'll get the
EX
overdrive
moves.
art, the EX version of the
Okay,
move.
yeah.
The biggest thing to note here is they're tied to the drive meter, not your super meter.
Oh,
Your
okay.
Super meter is a completely different resource.
So
in this
the
game.
super meter is
But
purely just
otherwise,
for
they're
super moves.
EX moves with a different name.
Huh.
Next up here is the drive rush. So perform a quick forward rush from a drive parry or a cancelable normal attack. Drive rush from a parry costs 1 bar.
Or a
Drive
normal
rush
attack?
from normals costs 3 bars. So this is effectively your focus attack dash cancel, basically. So it is from normals, not special specifically.
This kind
As
of
we can see in this
feels
shot here,
like a
so
FADC,
Ryu goes
yeah.
for the parry stance
But it
first.
reminds me a bit more
Cancels
in
out
terms
the
of
green
structure and
stance,
design.
which is our drive rush stance,
It reminds me a bit
and
of King of
rushes
Fighters
forward
kind
and
of
just
drive,
completely
rush
bamboozles
mechanic
Chun-Li and
where you run
smacks
after
around,
someone
right?
after you hit them.
So this is going to be a heavy movement thing for sure. So either you parry, quickly cancel out of the parry, and dash
That's actually a pretty cool
or do it from a
looking
normal. So a lot
move
of
that
offense
Ryu's
is
got there. I
definitely
like that.
possible from this. Lot of
It's
pressure,
a
but
little
it's
bit much to the
very
animation, but it's
expensive,
pretty
and doing
cool.
it off normals is 3 bars. Once again here, your drive meter, it regains over time. But if you drain it, there are penalties. And finally, drive reversals. They're just V reversals, alpha counters, whatever you want to call them.
Reversals,
It's the
of
classic
course.
Street Fighter
The alpha
sequence
counter,
mechanic
yep.
That costs 2 drive bars. So that's the drive system, and it seems pretty strong. Once again, everything is balanced by the fact that you have a gauge for it, right? That's
It
the
reminds me a bit of
bars
Mortal
just
Kombat
goes up.
11 stock
It starts
mechanic, where you have
round
offensive
one,
and
so if you just
defensive
wanna start going
stocks.
crazy on EX moves,
So it looks like you're having
the game
multiple
will let
meters
you
to
do it.
manage all at once.
However, they do state there's a big penalty. There's a burnout mode if you burn through all your gauge, so you really gotta avoid that.
So at that point, you
And
can't
of course,
even
at the
use
bottom
any of
there's
your
supers.
defensive
Says
mechanics
3, so you can
anymore.
hold up the 3 bars. It might be that there's different levels of supers. Like here's a big cinematic super, but there also could be like quick level 1 supers as well. Say like the King of Fighters. We'll have to wait and see, but supers have nothing to do with the drive gauge itself.
So what, is there like
Here
3
we see
supers
some
then?
From Jamie here, about to rip out your throat.
Yeah, that's
And,
dope. I really like the way that
Ryu
looks.
has, like, a
That's
Tenjin
dope.
Shin Shoryuken.
It looks
which
very
is
like
really
old
great.
school
Like,
kung
so
fu,
big,
Hong Kong
fancy
kung fu
cinematic
style,
supers.
like
So that's
from
the
Hong Kong
gameplay
flicks.
systems as we now know it. So we know that there's a big single player mode with an open city to explore, which is great. And we also have what would assumedly be the online experience. And that is the Battle Hub.
Okay, that's what we saw at the end,
So,
yeah.
big esports looking arena here. You can see those head-to-head
Oh, they got
cabinets
kiosks
there,
in the
so
back where
that
you can
means
go
to me,
challenge
expect
people
the
at.
Arc system style of lobby where you both ready up at a cabinet. Hopefully there's more traditional matchmaking as well besides that.
Yeah, I would kind of
Some
prefer
people
the
some people
quick
don't,
matchmaking
hopefully we
mechanics,
get
so hopefully they
both.
still have that.
Just make everyone happy. Now, besides all that, let's talk controls. And yes, there is easy
Whoa!
controls, but don't worry. If you want to play normal, proper Street Fighter,
What am I
it's
looking
there. It's called
What
the
am I looking at here? So classic, that's the traditional one, right? Yeah, heavy punch, okay. Drive parry, parry. Okay, so they have an actual button that's designed specifically for drive impact. It's gonna be a little confusing at first. R1, R2 for the stick. That's gonna be a little overwhelming. And then the modern controls, throw is assisted to a specific button, drive parry, drive impact, assist, repeat for assisted combos. So you have instant combos that you use with holding down R2 and press a button multiple times. Light, medium, heavy attack, and special move. Oh, I see what they're doing. So they're simplifying the control schemes for newer players, or more modern players, I guess you can call it. Where basically you lose access to the finite of your control. Basically, it'll pick the most optimal move in the circumstances that you're at. But the problem with having something like that in a mechanical level is that because the game is playing it for you to a certain degree, you lose access of control. You trade control for ease of use. So you're gonna trade that. Now the question is, how strong is this? Now they have a special move button on triangle. That's a little concerning to me. I don't have a problem with them being able to, Hadouken off of a single button, or Tatsumaki, or even Donkey Kick. But it's the Shoryuken move that I'm always a little worried about, because Shoryuken air controlling your opponent is huge in fighting games, and it's designed the way it is intentionally to be the one of the more difficult inputs to do. It's not like the most difficult input to do, but it's a little bit more difficult to do on purpose, because it's meant for you to make it's designed in a way where you have to read, and reacting to it is really demanding. So you have to be able to train yourself to get past that. So if you can do it with just 2 buttons, that makes that Shoryuken really, really deadly. And it makes it way more deadly than someone that can naturally input it or naturally know how to do it. So I'm a little concerned about that. Assisted combos, I don't have a problem with assisted combos in fighting games. I do think it tends to teach bad habits, though. Basically you're just button mashing, and in a fighting game, sometimes, okay, not sometimes, majority of the time you do not want to be pressing buttons in fighting games. You want to strategically press your buttons. So by teaching the player to button mash, you're teaching them a really bad habit, in my personal opinion. So I'm all for allowing mechanics that make it easier for players to level up, but I'm not sure if I'm convinced entirely of a auto button that makes that accessible. I don't think that the new player is going to stick around just because of a mechanic that makes it easier for them. However, this modern control might do it. I'm open-minded. I'll be open-minded. I'll try it out, and I'll see how it plays out. Granted, I'll be using the classical controller type, but I'll see how players play it out against us as time goes on, and see what happens. I don't think there's anything wrong with people trying to experiment with mechanics in games to see what works, what doesn't work, and what they can learn from them. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the UFC games, how they have currently, that I'm aware of, that they have a modern control type and a legacy control type. The legacy control type has more control. The modern control type, though it chooses and optimizes things for you, it helps you learn that learning curve a little bit. But here's my thought process is, if you're having a modern control type, you might actually lengthen the gap between someone who's trying to learn the game, because they have to unlearn the modern control type then at a certain point to learn the classical control type. So you're kind of artificially increasing the skill gap between these players effectively. So I'm not sure yet. I'm not gonna write it off. I'm gonna give it a chance. I think this is a worthy form of experimentation, and see where it goes. The big thing is this is the only time that it crossed that line for me where I have a problem with, is if the modern controls become so good that the classical controls become pointless. That's a bad idea. You don't want that. You don't want people not to use the original design of the game that requires a bit more skill, because if the modern controls are better than the classical controls, not necessarily even on, I wouldn't say it needs to be inferior, as long as it's equal level to a certain degree. But if it's superior to the classical controls, then what you're going to end up happening is everyone's just gonna move to the modern controls, and then you're trading that control, like that ability to make decisive decisions away from the the player, just so they can play optimally, and that's not a really good idea in my mind. So I've been yammering on for too long. Let's go ahead and see what what else he has to say.
Classic control type. Don't worry. And if you do 2 mediums, that's the drive parry. If you do 2 heavies, that's the focus attack, the drive impact, and 2 lights to throw like usual. But if you want easier inputs, if you're newer to fighting games or you don't want such a challenge, there is now the modern control type.
Oh,
so
you just hold down the button for a assisted combo. So you don't even need to mash the button. You just like hold R2 and then hit the button once and just hold it down and it'll automatically do it for you.
Throw on a single button, like there's no need to hit multiple buttons at the same time for things like parry.
So how many assisted combos are there then?
Lights, heavies, mediums.
It's just one combo? Or is it like King of Fighters where they have 4 different variations of the assisted combo, but it's basically the same thing?
On the modern control type, which I don't like the term, makes it sound like the real way to play is bad somehow. But anyway, on the modern control type, you can throw a fireball with a single button, right? And the thing is, you can also modify it. So if you press triangle, it'll throw a base Hadouken with Ryu. But if you press left, down, or right, then, well, it changes how the moves work. So, as you can see here in this little helpful diagram we got here, so left in triangle is the Tatsu, Hurricane Kick. Right in triangle is the classic Shoryuken.
See, that's what I'm a little worried about. That short. I'm fine with every other special move, but the Shoryuken move.
So, it's a little difficult when you have more moves than easy inputs for buttons. Cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge. I'll give it a shot. I'll see how it plays out, but having easy access to maintain air control from your opponent, that's really, really powerful. Oh, wait, hang on a second here. I've been yammering on for so long that I forgot to pay attention.
It could be a little difficult when you have more moves than easy inputs for buttons. Cross that bridge when we get there, yes. And also doing this in real time, folks, turns out I was right.
Super arts.
You have 3 levels of supers.
Oh, yep, 3 supers, yep.
So Shinku Hadouken, Shin Hashogeki, and Shin Shoryuken all can be made.
That is awesome. Okay, and I love this. I love the fact that that a fighting game is implementing 3 supers, and each one is uniquely different. I like the idea of each super, like, kind of raising the stakes, but more importantly, like, King of Fighters kind of does it where you have like level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s, but the level 1s and level 2s are basically the same thing. You're just looking at one that's a bit more enhanced. It's just a bit more animation or a bit more involved. It's virtually the same move, same super, just beefed up a little bit. But what I like about this is that the level 2 from the level 1 is genuinely a different super. To me, it's more work. You put more love and care into your game, and that makes the experience a lot more interesting and fun to watch, in my personal opinion. So I love the idea of there being 3 different supers. The idea of the Shin Shoryuken being the ultimate version of, Ryu's arsenal, but he still has his Shinku, which is a much more faster, version of it. Faster super is probably the one that you'll resort to the most. And the Shin Hashogeki. The idea of that being kind of like a souped-up super, but totally unique animation. It has to be a new animation. I'm guessing it has to do with that close-range fireball that he's already got access to. So I really like it. That's dope. That's awesome. Super psyched about that.
An assist combo.
Here we are.
So once again, this is effectively auto combo.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing that King of Fighters does, just slightly different.
Kind of combo. Mash circle, another kind of combo. So if you're looking for easier stuff, Street Fighter 6 has your back.
Okay, let's take a look at this real quick here. Let's go back.
Mash circle, another kind of combo. So if you're looking for easier stuff, Street Fighter 6 has your back.
All right, so right off the bat, assisted combo 1 looks like a low kick into a fireball. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a really good assisted combo to have right off the bat. It will, again, I'm fine. So assisted combos like this in their structure, I think, are better than the assisted combos in King of Fighters. In King of Fighters, it is literally a mashing the buttons and pray that your first couple mashes have landed the hit. I think that's a mistake. I think that teaches people the wrong way how to look at the game. You want an assisted combo to teach intuitively what the player should be looking for. So the fact that there's a combo that has a long-ranged low poke, but it's not the best low poke in the game, it's not nearly as good as Ryu's crouching medium kick, which would be a better version to do with that with the Hadouken. But doing the standing one will allow the person to understand that you should be playing footsies a little bit in order to hit confirm your fireball into it, but they don't get the best version of that attack. So I think that is a good assisted combo. That throwing a reaching low hit into a fireball is what they should be aiming for. Assisted combo 2 is the gut punch into the new fireball into Shinku. Okay, again, I like that. Looking for if you use the assisted combo number 2 for any kind of punishment opportunity. Someone whiffs a Shoryuken, this is the combo you should be doing if you only want to burn so many resources, but you still want optimized damage. This is a good assisted combo, in my opinion. That's the way you should be looking at it. The assisted combo 1 should be your usual bread and butter tool. Assisted combo 2 should be your punishment tool. Assisted combo number 3, I'm guessing, is probably the cash out the damage tool. So we'll see what that is here. It is looks like the axe kick into the donkey kick into Shoryuken into Shinku. Oh no, Shinryuken. So okay, again, really good. That's the best. That's the move you want to do if someone whiffs a Shoryuken. Assisted combo 2 is if you land it from a whiff punish. That would be a better way of looking at it. So assisted combo 3 is what you should be aiming for ultimately in the end. And I think these combos are good. I don't think the way that King of Fighters does them is a good idea, because the player doesn't really understand what they should be looking for with the assisted combo. They're basically just trying to land a roll and then hope that the matching square will allow them to quickly land the hit. While this inherently teaches the player what to do and what to look for, even though it basically handicaps them to a certain degree, because you're only going to have access to so many tools then. So I think this is not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with this assisted combo. An assisted special move to play at neutral, I get a little worried about that. I don't mind the other ones, but again, the assisted Shoryuken, that makes me a little nervous. That's a really powerful tool to have. So time will tell. We'll see how it plays out.
And that's basically pretty much all the main things we know right now. Some other little things here, like character-specific stuff. Chun-Li can do her up kicks by itself now.
Okay.
Tied to a target combo. And she's now officially a stance character.
Oh, wow.
So right here, when she goes low to the ground,
boy, she's got some booty cheeks now. Holy smokes.
From it. So I guess
some tight-ass tights you got there, lady.
Right? Very interesting to give Chun-Li, of all characters, a stance. But you know what? I'm down for it. I think that's kind of cool.
I do like her design. I think her design looks great.
Has an EX hit grab now.
Ooh, DDT. That's dope. I like that. That's cool animation. He's got those long-range fireballs.
And Jamie. So Jamie, once again, he is actually powered by drunken boxing. The more he drinks, the stronger he'll get.
Yeah, traditional in fighting games.
Depending at your drink level. So that's very cool.
Guessing you get new tools, yeah, with those drink levels.
We know for Street Fighter 6. Now, there's actually even more Street Fighter 6 stuff to talk about. A lot to do with Easter eggs in the trailer, and check the channel for a future video on that, because I'm already picking up a lot of your time here.
All right,
but so far, I'm a big fan of a lot of the changes I'm seeing.
Okay, so yeah, that's what we're looking at here. So he's covered everything about the game. What do I think in general of Street Fighter 6? I'm excited. I am excited. I like the idea of an open world fighting game. That makes me very excited. I expect fighting games right now to be looking at single player content in new and creative ways. They could do it in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be an open world game. Each game doesn't have to copy another competitors. They can do something unique to their own. They can do JRPG, like top-down Zelda style, and then you get in combat with somebody, and then it goes right into the combat mechanics instantly. You could do a variety of things. You can do the Virtual Fighter 4 quest mode, where you go around to gyms and challenging people at gyms, and then cash out money that you get from winning at those gyms. I think a great game that does it is, surprisingly, it's not a fighting game, it's a sports game, UFC, where you basically have to manage your funds and manage your character's time in order for them to train. That makes training mode fun. There should be mechanics that make training mode fun. I'm very surprised that fighting games have struggled to come up with very inventive and creative ways to make all of their systems fun and engaging. Like training mode, is probably one of the most notorious locations that doesn't have a lot of fun in it, unless you're, someone that enjoys, practicing combos. There could be ways that you can make training mode fun, implement it into the single player content, where like you're actually playing the character who is training, and they have a limited amount of time that you can train, so you have to meet specific goals in order to cash out more points or something along those lines. I think UFC 4 had a great idea with that concept. So I would love to see more fighting games go down this lane. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, as right off the bat, artistically, game looks fantastic. I love it. This is probably one of the best looking fighting games that we're looking at so far. It looks really pretty. Character roster right now, granted, they've only shown us 4. Right now, it's a little, no, actually, the Drunken Boxer looks really dope, so I'm glad that they showed him. If they hadn't shown him and just these 3 characters, Ryu, Chun-Li, and Luke, I would feel a little lackluster with the roster, but Jamie is like a breath of fresh air with character design and mechanical design, so I think that's dope. So hopefully we'll see some new takes on characters and inventive ones. I do like the idea that they're adding new moves to Ryu. I think it's funny that they changed the name of Ryu's sidekick. I don't like Ryu's sidekick animation in this game, though. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like it in Street Fighter 5. I don't like it the way it looks in Street Fighter 6. There's something about like Street Fighter 3 where Ryu stepped into his strike. It looked like it had more oomph and power to it. Now he looks like he slides into it a little bit. It looks a little goofy to me. So I'm not a big fan of that. But nevertheless, the kick is awesome. So hopefully we'll see more of that. But yeah, right off the bat, awesome. I'm really, really digging this. I have some concerns. Some of the concerns is that Street Fighter 5, as I mentioned before, really burned me in the past. So Street Fighter 6 moving into open world looks exciting, but how fulfilling is the open world? One of the biggest reasons why like open world games are such a popular genre is because there's so much to do and the world is brimming with activity, things to engage in, things to have fun with. You can waste hours of the time. One of the things that did bug me about Mortal Kombat 11 in particular was the idea of the crypt, where basically it's just a motion gallery. You're just basically going around in a museum, and I didn't like that. I thought it was really cool the first day, but once the second day came around and I realized the gimmick, I realized I don't like this at all, and if anything, it's wasting my time to collect stuff. So I like the idea of something like the Conquest mode in Deception, where you have a actual open world that you engage in. That's dope. That's super cool. So, let's see something creative here. I do want to see something creative, but I'm hesitant. I'm very hesitant nonetheless. Other concerns are, like I mentioned before, the roster's looking a little weak, but they do have one Drunken Boxer, so that looks a little interesting. It's still early to say at this point. I gotta call her back in a little bit here. So yeah, I have a lot of concerns. Obviously, online, netcode. There's still a lot of things that they have yet to show us, so we'll see where that goes in a little bit. But yeah, I gotta let you guys go here. My wife is calling me, and I gotta call her. So till next time, hope you all enjoyed this. Sayonara.